can count myself in. And we are back with Europa Universalis IV. I'm Shawn Sands from GamersWithJobs.com. Joining me still is Cory Banks. Hello, Cory.
Hello.
And Shawn
I'm winning
Andrich.
a war.
You are
Oh,
winning a war.
oh, oh, oh.
Congratulations.
Viva
So,
la France.
Shawn, why don't you go on ahead and unpause us?
Oh, okay. I can do that. Hold on.
It was spacebar.
Boop. No, it's not actually. It's you just do the top right thing.
You can also do that. So I think it's
Okay.
important to point out here. So this game starts in November 1444. I remember that because it's near Shawn's birthday in 1444. The
Thank you.
game ends January 1st of 1821. We have gotten 10 years into the game of some 400 years, and that's partly
I have
because
felt every year of those 10 years.
we are going pretty slowly here to get you guys comfortable. This is super slow paced. For those of you who may be watching, as you get more comfortable with the game does accelerate, and you can speed it up and not kind of micromanage this. But I think part of the point of this video is to just kind of show what it's like to be introduced to the game and get some of the fundamental concepts.
Can I ask you how you played this game, Shawn? Like when you're sitting here playing the game, are you hunched over thinking about all of your options, like constantly engaged in what's going on, or are you very casual? Are you possibly multitasking while you're playing?
I'm almost never multitasking. Like I'm never out of the game and just like I'm going to go check my email or something while the game's going. Oh, you lost stability. Why did you lose stability?
That was an option that I clicked on for a thing that I was given.
What was the other option? Because it was
was
almost certainly
it was
better.
I don't know exactly what it was, but it was like 4 more red options.
Okay, probably.
This is the Europa Universalis equivalent of talking to a 3-year-old and saying, "What did you just put in your mouth?"
No, I mean I made a choice.
It's okay.
It obviously wasn't the right choice.
No, I don't know. Maybe it was. I didn't see the other option. Don't worry about it.
Now that I'm seeing that my stability is -1, I understand just the gravity of the situation.
It is red.
It's okay, Cory. This too shall pass.
We will.
Well, but that is something about this that I'm finding like immediately is clicking with me. Green is good, red is bad.
Mhm.
Like you may not know exactly what those numbers mean or what variables you're talking about, but you get a sense of how you want to balance yourself.
Yeah, make red be green, and you're in good shape.
Right.
So, yeah, what were we talking about before?
How you play this game, like the stage you're in when you're playing.
That's really the nice thing about the time controls. If I am finding myself in a place where I feel like my country is stable and now I'm just sort of waiting for things to occur, then yeah, pretty much I will accelerate time until I get to a place where the thing I'm interested in happening is happening now. And sometimes I have to slow it way down because there will be 4 or 5 things happening at once. That happens a lot during wars, particularly if it's an unexpected war where maybe I'll give you a good example here. You're in an interesting example actually here, Cory. I'm lagging behind. Okay, I'll catch up.
It's because I cranked the speed up to like full just to see what would happen.
It goes very fast.
It does go very fast.
So, for example, Cory, you remember how you declared war on Grenada, right?
Yes,
Okay, so you've taken all of Grenada's areas, right?
I have.
If you look down at the bottom, you'll see the little shield with a 23% below it. Now, if you had taken the war leaders, all of the war leaders' land, you would see 100% there. But it turns out, and this is interesting, if you click that little shield at the bottom where it says 23%, you will see on the left-hand side it says Castile. And on the right-hand side it says Grenada.
I'll be right back. Keep going.
It says Grenada, and it says Morocco.
So Morocco is also fighting this war?
So it turns out that 2 things happened. One, Grenada, who you declared war against, apparently had some sort of deal with Morocco, whether they were allied or something like that. It was, if Grenada got in trouble, Morocco was going to be there for them. But Morocco is much larger than Grenada. So what happened is Morocco is actually the country you're at war with, and you're just sort of incidentally at war with their lesser partner Grenada.
That would have been handy to know beforehand.
It would have been, but it's okay because you're winning the war and you're going to be
Okay.
just fine. It probably the upshot of it will actually. Oh, wait. Do you see in your little your area there called Murcia next to Grenada? Do you see where it says 18?
Uh, Mercia?
So Murcia is a region of
Yeah.
yours. So those
Yeah.
are your ships. You
Oh,
have
okay, so I just
18.
clicked on it, but it just changed to 7.
Well, they're broken into two parts. You can actually, if you unclick
Oh,
them, so they're essentially like two armies there or two navies there. If you
sure.
drag and click, you'll just like any other RTS, you'll be able to select them
I
all.
have the full 18. Okay.
So, so now that you've done that, you should be able to kind of combine them. I can't do it for some reason, but there should be, after you select all 18 toward the top right of the area that shows all your ships, there should be two arrows pointing at each other. Do you see
Okay.
that? Click that.
Uh, I do not see that.
Okay, the hell with it. So you've got all 18 selected. Right click where
Yes.
you see in the Straits of Gibraltar, there is a little fleet of 3 ships, 3 Grenada ships. One,
Do.
go just blow them up. Oh, okay, good. So you're gonna beat this
Okay.
fleet first. You just beat the Moroccan fleet. Now you're gonna beat the Grenadan fleet. Great, good job. And now just take them back to Murcia. You have done well. You have just won
Now,
several
I
naval
should
battles.
I should point out that as I'm doing that, I'm also getting notifications saying that I'm losing influence with future cardinals, and I'm clicking into that menu
Mm-hmm.
and trying to add more influence. I
But
had an event that gave me 50 papal influence, and I started spraying that out
you just,
across
oh
a
my
couple of
God,
people.
look at this. You spent the hell out of that.
I'm really fascinated by. As a
It's
lapsed Catholic, I'm pretty fascinated by the Holy See, and so I really want to own some of these
it's a
guys.
lot of fun. What the only thing I would say is that you've spread it across 3 cardinals. You just don't
I
have
only
the.
I only meant to spread it across 2. I don't know how this happened.
Okay. Well, go ahead and click that one in Savoy too. Arborio Maya. Now you own those two. You will
And I have to
probably
kind of keep updating these as someone else comes in and
yes.
tries to steal their
I would
influence.
just you put 15 into that one in Austria. Just let that go for now. You can't
Okay.
you don't have enough coming in to hold them. But yeah, you did the right thing there. So if you got really lucky, you would they would get elected into the active cardinals. You don't have any active cardinals yet. Aragon still controls that. Now, one thing to keep in the back of your head, just in the back of your, are you still in that Holy See area?
I can get back there. Hang on just a moment. There's unhappiness among the clergy,
Mm-hmm.
conflict of opinion and interest over religious and secular matters between our government and our nation's religious authorities have upset the clergy. I can ignore the bans, lose 10 papal influence, and gain 10 prestige, or I can agree to the bans. I want the papal influence.
If that's what you're
Yeah.
focused on right now, that's how you make decisions in this game. Say, I'm not that worried about prestige. Now, your prestige is minus 12.
And
But
And in the Holy See, I have now lost another cardinal.
great,
It's
but you can get them
possible
right
that
back.
maybe I should not have done that because I lost a lot of prestige.
It's okay. Your prestige is not great, but it's not terrible. You're not really in that much trouble.
Okay.
It could be better, but go get that one back from Savoy. Savoy, go ahead and dump maybe 10 and dump another 5 in there. Really just kind of lay down the law. And then dump the other 5 into Zamoyski.
I fucked it up.
Or, well, the next 5 you get to that. So here's the one thing I was going to tell you. In the Holy See, you'll see their age. So
Yeah,
Arborio Maya is 58, Zamoyski is 47. That's pretty, 47 in particular is pretty darn young.
right.
That's what you want to be conscious of. If you look up in the active
Because you're not going to
cardinals,
get to be a cardinal until you're in your 60s or 70s.
well, not only that, but you notice they're all in their 60s and 70s, but they're going to die eventually. So you have to kind of balance how much you're investing in these cardinals against how old they get. In other words, if you have 100 in somebody who's now 70 and you lose them, do you spend that next 5 into them, knowing they're probably only going to be an active cardinal for 4 years? They may never even get in there, or do you begin investing in somebody who's much, much younger? Something to
Sure.
keep in the back of your head while you're playing the Holy See
That
game.
that kind of political intrigue is interesting to me. How do you get back to that window?
So at the very bottom right, Next to the you see your war score 35, and you see two.
Papacy.
Yep,
Okay.
one of
Got it.
them's the Holy Roman Empire. Let's just not worry about that right now. And the other one's papacy.
Sure.
So let's see if we can end this war, because
Yeah.
I think we can. So click the button with the Castilian reconquest of Almeria. That's and you'll come up and it says Castile versus Morocco and Grenada. The
Right.
war goal is to take the core of Almeria, which you have done now for a while, and you've gotten some goals off that. So let's see what we can take from Grenada at this point. So in the top right, you'll click the little dove and piece of paper, and that'll take you to the kind of negotiation screen. Okay,
Okay.
are you there?
Yeah.
So I mean, and this is where you begin to decide what do you want to get out of this particular war. Do you want to take this land? Do you want money? What are your different options?
So I want to take Grenada.
You want to take all of Grenada. So here's the thing.
Yeah, but so I can take Almeria, Gibraltar, or Grenada.
Yes.
I can't take the full annexation. It's apparently too great.
Well, you
But
can't.
Grenada being the largest landmass seems like what I'd want to do.
Oh.
Oh, hang on. There's revolt.
Okay, so move your 14 stack there quickly, if you can. Get out of this screen and just see if you can send them over. They'll do it. Come on, get there, get there, get there. Oh, tension. We have excitement. Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. No, you
Hang on.
won. No, you won. You won.
Alright.
Good job. Um, so you could tuck Almeria and Grenada, like you said. There is another option. So go back into that screen and hit clear offer.
Clear offer. Okay.
So there is another option I want to tell you about. At the top, you see the little buttons there that change what you can look at. You know, you see provinces on the left. You could return cores. Go to the full right where it's, I don't know, it's like a U-shaped thing with a green ribbon
Treaties?
on it. Yes, treaties. You see under there, one of the options is Castilian vassal, and that would make Granada become a vassal of Castile. Now,
Right.
if you look at that, it says that's the option, overextension 0, don't worry about that. War score 56%. So if you click that, you can't do that right now. We have to get your war score up to essentially 56%. That would
Okay.
give you control of all of Granada as a vassal that you could eventually annex. And it's an option to keep in mind. And here comes one of those choices. So you could either try and sort of hold out and hope that the fact that you're holding this land will eventually get you the war score that you need to take this option. And it will, but it'll probably take about 5 to 10 years of game time, maybe less. Or you could just get those two provinces right now. And I will just leave that choice.
Let's try to annex it.
Okay. So vassalize it or take the two provinces?
Yeah, let's try. Let's try to vassalize it.
Okay, so the way to do that really, again, is just sort of hold out. Just let time pass.
Oh,
And
okay. Well, what's the better option then?
actually, I mean, there's not a better option. I mean, you could take the two provinces right now, or you could just sort of wait and try to vassalize the whole group.
How do I do the other option? How do I take both of them?
So we go back in there and in clear offer and go back over to seed provinces and just select the two provinces of Almeria and Granada. And then probably, wait, actually, no, you can take all three now.
Okay. So then I say send demand.
Yeah, select all three and send demand.
I control collect all three of them, and then I hit send demand.
All right, let's hope this works. Yeah, good news.
Our generous peace offer
Has
That's
been
fine.
accepted. Now you own all of that southern part of the Iberian Peninsula.
Look at that.
I know.
Hey, it's
you
all
did it.
yellow.
I know. He
Uh-oh,
did.
I got tensions between nobles and clergy.
Yeah, it's probably fine.
It's pretty long explanation.
Nah, it's nothing. Don't worry about it.
Okay,
Jesus,
so I'm gonna go back to paying attention to the papacy.
So one other thing you might want to do is go back into your shield area, go over to the stability and expansion area, and consider boosting your stability.
Is minus
Shawn.
100 papal state opinion of France bad?
Well, do you want to ever be involved in anything related to
Or
the papacy?
7 noble regiments rise up in revolt
Where?
in Limousin.
All right. So we're going to cheat now. Are you ready to cheat a little bit?
I'd love to.
Select that army and co. that you have 29 people, 29 regiments standing there.
Yeah.
Right-click on Limousin, which is in the southern center of your state of your
Got it.
nation. Okay.
Oh, just kind of get them in there.
Yeah, wait till they're there, and then click on the button that says "Let the rebels spawn in Limousine."
Okay, got it.
So the reason we're doing it this way
Oh
is
no, it just timed out. What happens if it times out and it goes away?
then it means it selected the first option, which was
okay.
you've lost 100 influence. Now, there's one important thing. This is actually a good opportunity for us to look at something important. So you noticed your 20. You remember when it was in Co. and we took 27 regiments and sent them to Limousine, but now
Yeah.
it's 24 regiments.
Yeah, what's going on?
So what is happening there is attrition. In other words, you have 24,000 men in the province of Limousin in 1458. Now, while the province of Limousin could probably handle 24,000 men now, in 1458 it could not. So we need, in other words, you have too many men in one area, so they're just sort of dying off, either from starvation or dysentery or...
And not only that, but I made a decision that rendered their being there moot.
Well, it was happening in Co too, just not as bad. So here's what we want to do. One of the things you have to be conscious of is having too big an army in any one place right now. So to solve this quickly, hit the select that 24,000.
Got it?
Just hit the S key real quick. You're splitting your men in half,
Okay.
and send half of them to a different province.
Okay.
Any one, doesn't matter. Preferably one in your country.
Right, of course. Okay.
So
I
now
sent
you notice
11
that.
to Poitou.
Now you
Poitou.
notice the little skull next to them is gone.
Oh, yeah. Look
Yeah.
at that.
So now that means they're in supply. Now, here's an interesting thing. If you select one of those armies and tell me which one you selected.
The easternmost one.
So in Limousin,
Yeah.
if you look up in the army list, you'll see the different regiments, and you'll see how it says 773 for most of them, right?
Yep, exactly.
So that means each of those regiments have 773. Each regiment at full strength has 1,000 men, which means all of your regiments are down about 230 men. That's because they were dying off. Again, they will replenish over time, but here's a really tricky part. Do you remember where I mentioned manpower at the very beginning of the last episode, or earlier in this episode?
Right. Yeah.
So manpower is up at the top, and you have 584 ducats, and next to that you have 340 manpower. Hover over that, and you'll see that your maximum manpower is 35,820.
Got it.
What this means is, imagine that there are barracks and stuff all over France, just with troops ready to go, regenerate the armies out in the field. There are none of those guys right now. Like, all those barracks and areas are empty. There are no just spare men hanging around in France waiting to join an army. It will slowly replenish over time. The first thing it'll do is fill up your armies that are existing. So that 13 and 12 will become 15 and 15. So they're going to have to each replenish about 2,000 or 3,000 men each. And then once all your armies are full to capacity, it will begin replenishing that number up at the top, back up to 35,000. So it's an important thing to think about when you're deciding to go to war. It's a very different thing if you have, let's say you have 30,000 troops in the field, much like you do now, and you have your 339 manpower at the top. That means you have a total of 30,000 men total at your disposal right now. If you lose them, any you lose will not be replenished. If you had the exact same number of men in the field, those 30,000 men in the field, but you had 35,000 manpower in reserve, every time you went to attack an enemy, and let's say they killed 4,000 of your guys off, like those 4,000 would be back almost right away. You would be back up to 30 almost immediately until your manpower reserve goes away, and then you're using whatever men you have left. So it's an important thing not just to balance the men you have in the field, but your reserves, essentially your army reserves that you can use to replenish your guys. So it's something to think about before you go to war. Now let's click on those guys in Poitou.
Yeah, I can see that the numbers are crawling up. Like now they're up to 14 in Poitou. They started at 11.
Right, they're being replenished quickly. Once they're replenished, they'll replenish the army in Limousin, and once they're replenished, your total national manpower will go up. So it's something to think about.
Okay.
One other thing I want to work on right now with you is let's clear these flags at the top. So you have a whole bunch of flags coming down that are...
Well, you see a lot of flags. I've been clearing them.
Okay,
my OCD. See, okay, so my
well,
military
hang on.
power is now maxed at 999.
Well, let me take a look.
My diplomatic is almost
Oh,
maxed.
whoa, whoa, whoa. So we got to get some technology.
Yeah.
Well, let's invest in that idea. You got 999
Yeah.
military power. Go
Okay.
ahead and get those battlefield.
Battlefield commission
Yeah, do
done.
that.
Okay.
Guess what? You still have 599.
Yeah.
Click on
Military
the
drill is going to cost 400.
click on the gears. Let's go
Okay.
ahead and get military tech 4.
Okay. So that's military tech down there. Pike Square.
Yeah. Okay,
Nice.
now we're going to learn about building buildings in a second. And go ahead and get Diplotech and Administrative Tech.
Wow. Everything's coming
You
up,
are about
Shawn.
to, you're teching up.
The King Shawn. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting all kinds of menus here.
Okay.
Oh, I don't want to lose prestige or ignore their demands. Nobles demand privileges. What?
What are your
Nobles
options?
want privileges.
Yeah, they're some.
I can accept the rifle claims, which is lose 10 prestige, or I can ignore their demands and increase my national revolt risk by 2.
Oh, you're fine. And it's only for no. Also, notice when you're looking at that, notice how long the effect lasts. That's actually one of the really important things to
Oh,
notice.
until May 1461.
A year, you'll be fine.
Okay,
Select.
so I'll ignore them.
Yeah,
Them nobles.
just nobles. Screw those guys. So we've upped your technology, and now congratulations, you can build buildings. So you see the little saw and hammer up there.
Yep. You
Just
can
click.
build. That's one of the things I like about this game is it does like really like Cory. You're talking about having goals and things like that, but at least like it'll say this just happened. You can do something. Click on it. Here's the menu where you can do it. You know, like that. That's pretty cool. I do like that.
It
So
really
basic
is cool.
buildings.
So I mean, you can kind of hover over these buildings to see what they do. Temples are really good in the early game because they just give you more money. You're doing all right in money. Actually, what you need is manpower, so I would consider building some armories instead. Now, here's the important thing to notice. If you hover over the armory, you'll
Yep.
see what it does. It increases your manpower and decreases the time it takes to get regiments and their cost. It costs, at the very bottom, you'll see it costs 50 ducats. It takes 12 months to build, and it also costs 10 military power. Every armory you build, and you can build one of each building in every province, costs some of those power points. So
Okay.
you have to trade. You have to begin to make decisions like, okay, I want a lot of armories, but if you build 10 armories, that's 100 military power. That's much longer till you can get to the next idea group or the next technology level. So you have to balance those things out. Just having the money isn't enough.
Okay, so does it matter? Like, okay, so when I click on Armory, I can see like the little plus 32 on most of my nations. So that seems to indicate it's going to have the same impact.
Yeah, it
Pretty much
generally has the
everywhere,
same.
except,
What you
except
can,
Ile-de-France. That one's plus 35.
and that's your capital. You're usually going to get better benefits in your capital. What it's showing you there is the current military power, or the manpower. In other words, Co is providing 169 men every year,
Yeah.
and so forth, and how much that will increase the yearly production,
Okay,
not the
so is there
monthly.
any regional reason? Like, is there a reason maybe I'd want to like do it in
Well-
the south where I have less?
Well-
Or do I want to shore up like the bigger ones that I've got already?
It's real. No, it really. I mean, you probably want to aim at the bigger numbers. There's some sort of incidental advantages to that. And also, if you click on click on constable.
Okay, yeah.
So you'll notice sometimes the numbers also differ. So this would be an increase in your tax revenue. So higher tax bases do better. Like Champagne is much, much better than, say, Perigord to the south. But generally, you can really use those numbers. If you're seeing the same plus number all across the board, it really is going to, it's going to be pretty even. Now, Cory would see a very different thing in his nation, actually, because his nation now has a region which does not share his religious views or his even cultural views. So
I'm
parts of
working
his,
on that.
I know, good. We're going to come back to you in a second. So parts of his nation would not have the same benefit because there is civil disrest in those areas. The nice thing about France is really all of the French region is pretty French. And they're pretty French about being French, which isn't a bad thing, I guess. But you don't have sort of different cultures and different religious groups on your doorstep, and those things can influence how much those numbers go up when you build a building in that area. Cory, How are you?
I'm trying to make everyone believe in the same God that I believe in.
How is that going for you?
Not as well as I would have hoped. I am now defender of the faith.
Okay, well that cost you
I can
500 ducats, didn't it?
It did, but I have a treasury of 1167 ducats.
Really good. Are you still? You're still okay. So you've also increased some tech. You're already up to tech
I
level
have.
5.
Yeah.
Wow, you could probably beat some
That's
of
just
Shawn's
there were
army.
some buttons that need to be clicked. So I
Anyway,
clicked them.
so the first.
So it says that I can convert provinces to my religion,
Mhm.
but it doesn't look like the prospect is very good.
So I noticed. Yeah, you're trying to convert Gibraltar right now. Your missionary progress is such that you are increasing your influence in that area by 0% per month.
Awesome.
Which means that you
Or
will
possibly the opposite of awesome.
Yeah, it's the other one. It means you'll never be done under the current conditions. So I would cancel that.
Cancel?
Yeah.
I must have clicked on something bad.
Yeah, send him to the one where it says at least you can do it in the next. Well, that'd be what?
I don't think that's a good idea either. It says 1,111 months.
Well, that's only what 100 years or so. So yeah, it's a tricky thing actually for Castile. You'll get some benefits in the long run. Let me check your missions. I don't think you have any missions. So as you advance through the years and get additional options. Now this is a wait. Let me check something real quick. Never mind. I thought being leader of Holy See would give you better missionary strength than it doesn't. What you're going to be looking for is options that give you missionary strength. So you do have one missionary, and he is willing to go down in Gibraltar and Granada and Almeria and talk about how great...
I have 3 missionaries.
God, you do. Wow. And talk about how great Christianity is. Right now, unfortunately, the Moorish population of that area, really are still more loyal to Morocco than they are to you.
Man, sure.
It's kind of a bummer. Let me look at a couple of things here and see what your options are. How can we increase? So you have diplomatic ideas.
Let me tell you what my goal is for the
Talk
game,
to me about
Shawn.
that while I look at this.
I would like to be the Pope.
Okay. Now, do you remember the part where I said you can't do that?
I do, but I also feel like maybe you were wrong, and so I'm hoping.
Well,
that
I've only played the game for 307 hours, so it's a good possibility that I don't know what I'm talking about.
Ladies and gentlemen, Shawn Sands.
Okay, so what are my secondary options? If I can't be, can I be like the vice pope?
Yes.
Like...
What you're saying is you actually want to be the Curia controller, which is you want to get enough cardinals into the to the Holy See so that you're controlling that. And you're actually on a pretty good path to that. How are you doing? Let's check. Does the Pope like you? Well, pretty good. That's not bad.
I did send a diplomat to the Holy See, or to Roma, I think.
So one of the things, now remember, every game of Europa Universalis IV is a great opportunity to look back and to see the things you should have done differently. Okay. So you selected diplomatic ideas, right? Do you remember selecting that?
Probably, sure.
Yeah.
Seems
so
like a button I would click.
Yeah. So when you tech leveled up your administrative technology, it said you could.
Damn it! Someone else got voted cardinal, and I didn't even vote.
If you want to be Pope, you're gonna have to clean up the language. As your PR,
what
I
is
have
that?
To say, that's gonna hurt your cause a little bit.
You know, I'm a student of the papacy, and I have to tell you, I can't even pronounce it right. But maybe I don't need to clean up my language. Maybe you need to just shut the hell up.
Oh, bringing in hell into it.
Wow,
it is.
he condemned you. I'm pretty sure.
So Shawn, what I think you were saying is that I sent diplomatic relations, but that was the wrong way to go.
Well, so I mean, this is a great example of something you want to focus on. You have a singular goal, and then you aim the things that you do at that. Now, there's diplomatic ideas is really good. I mean, there's a lot of really strong advantages to that. But if your idea is, I want to control the papacy, then when you're in that situation to select an idea, okay, we're going to address this real quick. You've just been called to arms by the nation of Ragusa, our brothers and sisters. Why are you allied with Ragusa? What?
Uh, I don't
Oh,
think I
no, no,
am.
no.
I'm
Oh,
the
God. So
defender of the faith.
that's right. So you're a defender of the faith. So what you're going to do is accept this and then just essentially do nothing and let them get trounced all over.
Okay, cool.
Okay. I think that will be fine because that's all
Sounds
happening.
like a real stand-up move.
So
Yeah, well,
in the moment of
I never said I was a good defender of the faith.
no, it was you're not. You're not. So my point with the ideas is what you might have considered opening is the administrative idea of religious ideas. So if you're going to be, aimed at something like the Curia controller, then there are usually ideas that aim at whatever you want to do. Religious ideas give you a permanent casus belli against heathens, and it gives you more missionaries and increases their power and stuff like that.
Okay. So it's May 1463. I have 2 open diplomats. I have 3 open missionaries.
Your missionaries
check
are
here?
useless right now.
Oh, cool. Okay.
They won't always be, but for right now they just are. Some of the
So
things you
what are
might
my
want to do.
options?
So some of the things you might want to do with your diplomats are increase your influence or the opinion of your direct neighbors, places like Portugal and Aragon, and always keep your influence with the papal state as high as possible. Just keep going back there and saying, hey, how's it going, Pope? You remember me? I'm Castile, and we love you a lot. Because that's going to give you more opportunity to put points into cardinals. So I would send, if I were you right now, I would send a diplomat back to the papal state just to improve relations. I might consider creating an alliance with them well, let me check that real quick. Yeah, you could do that. That will improve their opinion of you as well. I would keep.
How do I do that?
So you right click on the papal state. Do you remember where they're at?
Yeah.
And
I got
just
'em.
click improve relations. Just
Okay.
checking in all the time. The places that are most important to you, like, hey, I know it's only been like a year, but I really still love you, Pope Innocentius VIII.
Yeah, they elected a new pope, and it wasn't me. I noticed that.
Well, sometimes the Holy See just totally screws you.
Okay.
I have to prepare you for that. There is a certain degree of momentum in the Holy See. You'll notice that Aragon, we remember when we first started, Aragon had 2 active cardinals. They now have 4. The more active,
I'm getting crushed here. I'm not going to be.
I promise you, it will switch. Eventually that needle will move. You have to stick
I
with
think
it.
to do that, we're going to have to speed up the game.
Well, we can do that. But I would focus here. Here's what I would do in the short term. Your guy, I know you've been putting points into these guys. Arborio Mella is now 66 years old. I wouldn't put any more money into him. I wouldn't put any
You don't
more
think
paper.
so? He's got a shot.
He's 66. Like, if he gets in, it's for a week and he's out. He's dead. He's gonna die. Arborio.
So I start thinking.
Oh,
about,
whoa. Okay, so this one's more important. The nation of Portugal, your faithful ally, is requesting that you come to their aid in the Portuguese reconquest of Tangiers against Morocco and Tunisia. So I think this is a safe one to take because
I don't have 25 prestige to lose.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So what happens now is that you're now again in a war with Morocco, but also Tunisia. The nice thing about this is that you have a bigger naval fleet than both of them. And as long as you kind of stick to your own area, they aren't going to come north and invade. If you want to go south, this is an opportunity to kind of get in a scrap with Morocco if you wanted to do something like that. Or you could just sort of hold your ground and say, hey, Portugal, I was there for you. Like, I totally said I'm at war with these guys you hated, even though you never did anything about it. But you could.
What would you do?
Right now, what you did not say earlier is I'm really interested in just taking North Africa. You said I'm interested in the Holy See and the religious aspect.
Yeah.
So you stick to that. This game will be all the time. It'll be like, hey, what do you think about exploring the New World? and you have to go, well, what I really wanted to do was destroy Aragon to my east, and that's not the same thing. Or hey, you know what? Screw Aragon. I'm not interested in that anymore, and I want to go do this thing. It's a constant source of decision. Um, let's see. Let me check how strong the Moroccan military
So
is.
remember the cardinal that I invested 115 influence into?
Hmm.
He just died.
Yeah, I thought that might happen.
I'm just telling you that you were right.
That's kind of a bummer. So
and
here's
I'm investing in influence into the one who's 38.
That's good. That's good. I would focus all my papal influence into one person until I got one person in, and then you can begin to split it up. So the Moroccan military only has 14,000 14 regiments. You, by the way, have 20 regiments just on your own, not even talking about Portugal. So you could try to invade Morocco if you wanted to.
Well, how do I do that? Let's do that.
So okay, so you remember those 19 ships you have over in Murcia?
I do. I have them selected.
Okay, so if you hover over, what you'll see is that you have 5 and then 8 and then 0 and then 6. Those are the different types of ships. The first ones, your 5, are essentially your biggest ships, your ships of the line, your carracks in this case.
My Enterprise.
Yes, you have 5 Enterprises. Congratulations. The next one, the 8, are your trade vessels, which are actually pretty strong ships. They just
more like the Reliant.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Good. You have 8 Reliant. Unfortunately, you have 0 of whatever that ship from Deep Space Nine was. Let's call it that. And then you have 6 transport ships, and those are kind of.
I think those are like the Millennium Falcon.
They're like those. I don't know, those BS ships. Oh, congratulations on your king died, didn't he?
Yeah.
That sounds bad. Is that bad?
Nope. Well, it is in your case. So your king, as I recall, was a 112 or something like that. Your new king, King Enrique the Fourth.
It's like he's a 000.
Yeah, he's pretty bad. He's like
I basically just make Paris Hilton my king.
He's like the
Time
worst.
to hunt her down for a while.
He is the worst king.
Also, but the new heir to the throne is a 634.
How old is he?
Succession is safe.
Hover over him. How old is he? Okay, he's
How do I
16.
find out?
No, he's 16. You can see. He's 16. Your current king. You're 0. Like I got good news, Cory. You'll never have a worse king.
Now,
can I hatch an assassination
I
plot?
was gonna say,
and get
this is where the
16-year-old
Crusader Kings thing comes in. Is
Yes.
there a way for Cory to like put his king into battle with like one troop protecting him?
No.
Okay.
But you can actually. So here's your best option. Click your.
Aha! Orléans is mine.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Great.
See if you can figure out how to do that with Bourbonnais.
Oh man.
No,
All right.
correction. Armagnac. Do it with Armagnac because they have 2. So if you go into the shield area, click on the little military button that's to the far right. It's the little hat with the sword through it.
Got it.
You have 2 leaders right now. So at the very bottom, why can't you make your ruler? Oh, your ruler already is general. Good. So Enrique, you see in the leaders, it says Enrique the Fourth is a 1112 general, and he's currently a general. So let's assign him to an army, and maybe if you're super, super lucky, he will die a horrible death in battle.
How do I do that?
So
Wait,
select.
hang on.
Yeah.
Yeah, Enrique the Fourth is king. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. So select your one of your armies. Why can't we select this? Okay.
I'll do the 3.
Well, there's a 14 and a 3. We ought to combine those 2. Do you see where there's a 17, but there's like 2 pips underneath it?
Okay.
Drag select that whole group.
Okay.
And how do we... God damn it, I never can remember. There should be a button with like 2 arrows pointing at each other. Up toward the top. Do you see that? Because I don't see it here.
No. Interface.
I'm just so used to doing it. Okay, so select the... click it, just left click it on that area till you see the 14, the group of 14. Do you see that?
Yeah.
And then in there you see at the top it says no leader. Left click that.
Give me a landmark.
So when you click the 14, you see a box open on the left that shows all your men in that army, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Yeah.
if you look at the very top of that box, there's like a red outlined
No leader.
no leader. So left click where it says no leader.
Enrique the Fourth.
Click him.
Done.
Great. He is now commander of that army that is just standing around in Grenada doing nothing. So you have a couple of options right now.
Wait, how do I kill him?
You get him involved in a battle and see if he just dies.
Looks like I'm taking on Morocco.
So then you have 6 transport ships in your flotilla. What you want to do is pull them into the Straits of Gibraltar, slowly load your men onto those ships, and cross them into North Africa. I'm going to let you work on that for a little while I check on Shawn. I should point out you are losing both of your wars. Shawn.
Wait, who? I'm losing wars?
Yeah, both of them. It's okay. It's not your fault. It's actually the fault.
I didn't know I was in war.
That's just history.
That's just it's not your fault. It is you started neither of these wars. This is you jumped ahead and you became Defender of the Faith, which has some advantages to it, but it does have some downsides.
It seemed like a cool title to have.
It does, and this is a learning game. Shawn, how's it going?
I have Orléans. That's mine now.
Good. Yes, you do.
I'm following the same pattern as before. So I did a royal marriage in Armagnac.
Armagnac.
Boy,
yeah.
we are just butchering country names. People got what's funny is the podcast. It's our biggest listenership is in the U.S. The second biggest, the U.K.
Oh, they're just so upset at us right now.
Oh my God, I can only imagine.
So
Although it's France, so what do they care?
They're probably smarmy about it. It's fine.
So here's some things to think about. As you've been sitting here, relatively safely, probably under the illusion that you are in a happy world. Right?
I am, because I played as Castile, I think, and I just got the crap kicked out of me.
Yeah, Castile's really
that
hard.
would have been nice to know.
Castile's
before you-
really hard. I don't recommend
How
it.
how about fuck you guys?
So let's right click on your nation real quick, and it'll bring up the diplomacy screen. Do you see that?
Yep.
Do you see underneath your King Louis the 11th?
Benoit.
By the way, 432. Nice king.
Thanks.
That's pretty good. That is literally 9 better than Cory's.
We should have a king fight.
It wouldn't be much of a fight.
I hate this fucking game.
Do you see under? Well, you're gonna like this part, Cory. Do you see underneath it where it says enemies?
Yeah.
These are all countries that have said you're the worst country on earth.
Wait, Burgundy's right near me, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
I'm gonna murder those guys.
So let's
One
talk
of those
about
countries,
those.
Corydom.
It could be, yeah, Aragon. So let's talk about those countries because you've been living under a illusion that you're safe, and you are so not. England would like you destroyed. Burgundy, your neighbor, would like you destroyed. Austria, the Holy Roman Emperor, would like you destroyed. Aragon, your neighbor to the south, would like you destroyed. And Portugal, with Portugal.
That's probably all those times I kept saying screw the Pope when those little story things would come up. I'm like, you know what? I'm already in for a penny, so I might as well just kick the Pope in the teeth every chance I get, diplomatically speaking.
You really, I mean, it's fine. It's not a problem.
Oh, I've just gained Casus Belli against trade dispute against Aragon. Hey, look at that.
So those are all countries that are just trying to screw you over.
Right.
So you do have an option here. Your Casus Belli, we talked about how to look at that, right? So you have a lot of them, which means you could very much go to war against a lot of people. I wouldn't recommend going to war against your own vassals. That would be dumb. But Provence, let's see who Provence is allied with. Bavaria, not a problem. Lorraine, not a problem. Mainz, not a problem. Milan, not a problem. Okay, I'm just going to look at a couple of things here. So you just hang tight.
I've never wanted to play Counter-Strike more in my life.
I don't even know what that is.
After 300 hours, I wouldn't imagine you do.
Okay, so Provence has so Provence is one of the few areas that are in France that are not your vassals. They control Maine and Anjou, which is on your sort of western side, and they also cover Provence, which is on your southeast side. You could start a war with them to take some of those areas. They have a few relatively mediocre allies. One of them is Savoy, which is the pink nation on your southeast border.
I don't think we're going to need to worry about any pink nations.
They're pretty pink. I'm just saying. And a couple others, Maine, and I mean they're like they got like one region. As long as none of them manage to bring Austria, the Holy Roman Emperor, into your battle, you would be fine. You might be fine anyway. So this is one of the great things about France. France can be total dicks. They're born to be. They are born to just eat up the entire center of Europe. But every now and again, the entire nation of Europe says, no, France. No, not this time.
Go home, France, you're drunk.
Go home, France, you're drunk. So this is one of the great decisions about France. You could, right now, and you would win, as long as they didn't bring any major allies in, start a war with Provence, probably take Maine and Anjou, and have that center of France just totally shored up. It would be blue from the English Channel down to the Côte d'Argent, which is, I hear
it's a beautiful language.
Really,
So incredibly cultured.
what do you want to do?
I like turning stuff blue.
It's really
and
tempting.
Yeah, I really do. I feel like I need to raise more troops before I do
Well,
any
let's see how you
military
do.
action.
Okay, let's see how you're doing on units. So
I got like 2 groups of 15. I got 1 of 3.
well, here's the thing. If you click those little, so you see where your shield is, just below it there's a red button with a sword and a hammer. Click that.
Hold on, I need to decide I'm gonna. Okay, so I can either ignore them and lose 2 stability.
Do
or
not
I can
do
pay
that.
them off
I don't care
and,
what the other one is.
Don't ignore them.
Do not
Okay,
lose 2 stability.
Okay, I'll lose. I still lose 1 stability and I lose money. It's
Okay.
not the best option.
Now, before we do anything else, you're at max diplomatic power, so why don't we go ahead and get the next levels of tech, which you can get all 3.
Okay. Tech, which I vaguely remember where that is. Oh, here we are. Note trade. Tech. Here we are. Boom. 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 Oh, yeah.
You're so smart now. Now, do you see one of the banners that just came down is called, it shows some guys standing around shooting guns at things. And it says superior unit types. Click that.
Okay.
It brings you to your military screen. You now have more advanced military units at your disposal. So where it says Latin medieval infantry, which is so 1444, click that, and you see you have new options there. Longbow and man-at-arms.
Ooh.
I'm going to tell you, for reasons that I'm not going to go into detail yet, that longbow is a little bit better. And the reason why it's better is because it has 2 shock instead of the 1 shock that the man-at-arms has. And shock is more important at this phase, probably, than this fire. Well, neither of them fire, and shock's just good. Take the longbow.
Okay.
Good.
Got it.
So if you look at any of your units now, you'll see that little bar on the right-hand side is red instead of where it was normally
they're
green.
Switching getting new equipment, training guys.
Yes, they have very low morale right now because they are in the middle of training. You got to give them a couple of every month. That bar will slowly.
They're like Cory and I. Their morale is low because they feel ignorant.
They
and
feel like
stupid.
they don't know what they're doing. They're just wandering around.
God, that is
Half
so
of them are
true.
playing Counter-Strike.
Some of them may be playing 3s on their iPhone. Who knows?
Please. Oh, we're almost done. I
You're
think
telling me.
I think you ought to go to war with Provence.
Okay, so do I want to actually
So
attack
let me tell you.
Provence
Yeah, let
first?
me tell you why. Let me tell you why. So you remember where that red button we were going to look at under the shield? Click
Yeah.
that red button, and then
Okay.
click the tab that says units.
Got it.
At the very bottom, you see a thing that says Army Force Limits.
Yeah.
You have 33 regiments out of the 34 that your country can easily support.
Okay.
You can't really afford more units.
Is that a lot?
33,000 men at this stage of the game is a lot.
Okay.
I'll just tell you, I'm not going to go into where to find this right now. You are the 5th strongest country in the world from a army point of view.
Yeah. Eat that, Cory.
I have a little bit of bad news.
You're the King Ralph of Europa Universalis.
So
Don't I know it?
do you remember when we were talking about the countries that hate you?
Yeah.
So the countries that hate you include England. They're like ninth strongest in the world.
Okay.
And
That
Aragon.
sounds-
Aragon's not even on the list.
Yeah,
But then there was Burgundy and Austria.
Burgundy's like really red and really.
Burgundy you have 33,000 units at your disposal. Burgundy has 44,000 units. Austria has 35,000 units. So two of the four countries that hate you to the extent that they have pushed a button that says, I really want to make sure I indicate how much I hate them.
I'm sending a diplomat to Burgundy right now. I know we're at minus 113.
And that they've rivaled you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I feel like
you
there's
never
some
know.
inroads to be made.
They're a reasonable people. They're a reasonable people. And yet, let me make sure, I still think you should go to war because I think it'd be hilarious against Provence. I think you'd be fine, but if you're not, that would be pretty
Okay,
good too.
so should I attack Provence or should I attack Anjou? Or
It doesn't matter.
Maine?
So you're actually going to go to war with the nation. It doesn't matter
Right.
which
I
one
just mean in terms of like if I'm going to start a war, who should I punch like their biggest army in the mouth right away?
Yeah, absolutely. Regardless of what you
speaking.
do. But first you need to bring your diplomat from probably Armagnac home.
Oh, why?
Because you don't have a diplomat to go tell Provence how much you're going to kill them.
Why don't I just attack them? Why do I have to send a guy to like glove slap them first?
Because it's 1469 and that's what you do.
What?
You have
That
to have a
seems-
diplomat
okay,
available.
Stop relationship improvement. Leave. Go ahead. Okay.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Yeah.
Do you think anybody's watching right now?
Somebody just woke up. Is like, what?
I don't know, but if they are, I just scored 2,500 points in threes. So
Okay, so
All right,
I
we're-
right-click on Provence.
Click declare war. We're going to win this war, and then we're going to just check in on Cory, and then we'll probably call it an episode.
Okay, so I right-click on Provence. Where do I pick declare war?
So you right-clicked on Provence. Do you show the diplomacy screen?
Yep.
Here, scroll up. You may be scrolled down in that menu.
Oh, I'm scrolled down. There we
Okay.
go. Declare war.
And you're going to take the core of Maine, or Anjou. Now go kill his army. Quickly.
Oh, he just brought the fight to me. Holy crap.
Yeah, but he brought the fight to your weak army, and yet you are still sort of winning.
Well, I just combined my armies.
Okay, you're fine.
I did a flanking maneuver.
Well, no, you didn't.
No, I'm pretty sure I did.
I don't think you did. So take that 15 and invade his land. No, not just the one.
Not
I'd
the
take
one.
more than one.
How do I make them go back to
You can just drag click.
combine them?
Yeah. Well, that'll select them all. I can't.
Oh,
there-
I see. I
yeah,
got it.
there you go.
Okay, so I want to go and punch him. In the
And
face.
while you're at it, you have another 15 down at the south. You should move them toward
Oh,
that
that's
army
where they
that's
went.
attacking.
I knew I moved them somewhere.
Okay,
Ooh,
just
I can
hold
build a
there for
palace,
now.
or I can lose prestige. I'm gonna build that palace.
Build it. Why not?
Okay, so I'm gonna go to Provence and just punch him right.
Yeah,
in the
just
face.
go right into Provence with that other group.
Yeah.
right in the Provence.
Right.
Right
Hit
in
him in the Provence. Okay.
Damn, Vinchels.
Now let's go look at Anjou again. Oh no, not just the one. Not just the one. You want to take?
No, they're all go. Oh no, they're not.
No,
all
they're
right.
no, they're. Well, you're still somehow going to win. That's just how. That's the benefit of having. So select that army again.
Yeah, got it.
There is some way to combine them.
I think I can split in half, detach.
God, there's some way to combine them, and
Reorganize these two units.
yeah, just do that.
And...
You want to send some of them to Anjou, and keep some of them in Maine, and just sit on those places until they die. Now keep an eye out. There's an 8 stack of enemies trolling around. Just watch them.
Yeah, they're in Barry. Are they sieging Barry?
Yes, they are.
Should I go beat them up or should I keep sieging their stuff?
It's a call. It's your call. You could either, if you're going to do it, you're going to want to take everything you have, combine it back into one, and then attack them.
Okay, because yeah, I can see my number just went from like 11 or 8 to 11. So I guess I'm
Yes.
Um,
You remember
so do my armies build up because I'm surrounded by my own territory?
your armies build up no matter where you are. You remember that manpower thing. You remember earlier it was at
Right. Yeah.
350. If you look up there now, it's back up to 35,000. So your armies are rebuilding up very, very quickly when you lose men.
Yeah. My generals are concerned by our unmanly tactics.
Oh, well, aren't they just la-di-da?
Who cares what others thinks? I'll lose 50
I
prestige.
I think you actually ought to combine your two armies in Maine and Anjou and go kill Barry quickly, because he's about to take that very quickly.
Meanwhile, in Provence,
Everything's good there.
chilling out in Provence.
Yeah, this was the right move.
You know what? I gotta say, like after doing all the tutorials and then playing single player, even watching some YouTube videos,
Uh-huh.
I've learned way more about this game.
That's awesome.
Like to a point where
Keep
I'm
following
actually like,
that guy. Just
that's why you've played this for hundreds of hours.
just keep blowing them up. Follow
I
him
can chase these losers around. Just take your
ruthlessly.
medicine. Take your vitamin.
Okay. All right, and then split your guys back up and take on Anjou and Maine. Go back to that. Let's see if maybe your vassals could help at all and go kill this stack of two. Like, they should be able to handle that.
France gains claim. Oh, here we go. Lack of good maps or tools create accurate occasionally lead to overlapping claims.
Where?
France gains claim on Provence. Provence gains diplomatic insult on France, which is fine.
Doesn't matter. You're already at war with them.
So I can just press the issue, I guess.
So, yeah, definitely.
Because we're kind of at war already, guys. So why are we quibbling over maps?
Also, you've just beaten Provence in Provence. Oh, no, you've been attacked. You moved your entire army to the south.
No, I got like some at the...
You only have 2.
Oh, I thought I had more than that. No, there's 10. So
now there is.
Stats.
You just moved them back.
Stats.
Good job.
Yeah.
So at the very south...
my prowess.
Well... at the very south, you won Provence. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So you have... you've made progress. It's now at a plus 15 war score. Once you take the target of Maine, you'll be even further. This is going to go very, very quickly. Cory, are you still playing?
I have no idea how to
I just abandoned
declare
you.
war on Tangiers.
Oh wait, I have very good news for you though. You are super winning the Bosnian conquest of Ragusa. So let's solve that quickly.
I don't even know what that is.
Your ally. So you and the country of Ragusa. We should point out where Ragusa is. Ragusa, by the way, is over in Serbia, just south of Hungary. So it wasn't a thing you were supposed to do anything about.
So it's about 11 billion miles.
It is. You shouldn't have. There was nothing you should have been doing here. But this is an opportunity for you to take some money. So do you see at the bottom where it has the? Are you in the game, actually?
Yeah,
okay.
I am in the game. Yes.
So click.
I put the iPhone down.
Click the shield where it says Bosnian conquest of Ragusa, because you're the war leader of this. Even
47%.
I know you're doing really well. Congratulations, you did a great job. At the
really,
top,
really giving me the sense that I'm doing a lot in this game.
You are.
I don't know what the fuck it is.
Well, this is the advantage of starting as a country like Castile or France or Austria or the Ottomans. You don't have to do a lot to just maintain. As long as you don't piss off a bunch of countries like England and Burgundy and Austria and Aragon and Portugal, you'll be fine. In this case, because these places are so far away, you don't actually want to take their land. It would be so far away, it would just be totally inconvenient. So we're going to win in a different way. Here's what we're going to do. If you click, so are you in the war?
Bosnian conquest of Ragusa.
So at the top, there's a bunch of buttons. One of them says treaties. Click that.
Peace deal?
Yeah, up at the top right, there's the little button that has the bird and the
peace deal.
Click
Okay.
that. Yeah, click that. That takes us to the negotiation screen. The buttons in there, you want to click the one that says treaties at the far right.
I am with you. Okay.
Okay. Click concede defeat. Nice thing about concede defeat, that's going to just give you 10 prestige for nothing.
And send the demand.
No, 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 no. Oh, we're not done. That's only 10% of 62 war score. Then
Okay, sure.
click transfer trade power. All of their trade power, all of the power that they have to trade and generate wealth within the trade node of Venice is now yours. So we're going to take that too. And just to really just stick it to them, click release nations, which is another one of those buttons at the top. So treaties and about 2 overs release nations.
Got it.
Click Serbia. Ragusa, which is a tiny little area right on the sliver of the Mediterranean, is going to have to give up the entire realm of Ragusa, which at some point they appeared to have taken. So we're just doing this. It provides us no benefit except just stick it to them. Just to have done it. They have no money. They have nothing. They almost certainly will get completely overrun by the Ottomans within the next 10 years because you have so demolished them. But you know what? They rose up against your faith, and they deserve this. Oh,
Sure.
Except now they won't accept that. So unclick Serbia and click Montenegro instead.
This is fun.
And then click.
I love conceding.
And then no, you're not conceding anything. You're just making them give a little less. You're benevolent that way. Then click send demand quickly before they don't want that anymore. Congratulations, you just beat Ragusa.
Great. Can I be the Pope now?
No. Yes.
I am.
Yes.
I
have good
so
news. Hey, do you
unbelievably overwhelmed by the options in this game right now.
realize you have an active cardinal? You won a cardinal?
I do not.
Yes, you do. Go look.
I mean, I do not realize that.
You do. Your
That
cardinal.
thing
You have one of them. If you go look in the
All
Holy
you had
See.
to do was stop trying.
The youngest cardinal belongs to Castile. You have also this the advantage on this De La Cerda. He's 41, and really you're the only one in competition with him right now. So you've gotten your first step into the Holy See.
So if I invested 8 more hours into this game, I might actually have a couple of cardinals that could someday be Pope, and 8 hours of sadness ahead of me.
Well, it wouldn't be 8 hours of sadness. It would be 8 hours of focusing on something that's important
So
to you.
here, I mean, I am just so. And
It's
this is
interesting
something
because
that,
you and Shawn seem to be
you
having.
spend some time with it and you understand it. I get that, but there are so many options.
Yes, there are.
It is hard to focus on all of them. My MTV-addled brain just cannot comprehend.
I'm digging it, honestly. I just it's okay. Step 1, get rid of England. Done.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Step 2, let's annex those
All
guys.
right.
Done. Step 3, it's when you get a job resume that's works well establishing my own goals or whatever. It's if you just kind of pick this is what I want for this game.
Exactly.
And you go for it. I mean, no wonder you can drop 300 hours into this because you just sit down and set goals. You're not just doing what you're told to do.
So as our final act here, Shawn, you have crushed the Provencians.
Yeah.
The Provençals, I don't know.
How do I make them pure blue instead of stripy?
Well,
blue?
good news. We have 100% war score against them. So let's go down and click French Reconquest of Maine, where it says 100% at the bottom of your screen. Let's see what options we have if you click the dove and the scroll. Click treaties. Can we make them a French vassal? No, we cannot. We don't have enough. Can we do full annexation? Guess what? We can. So if you click on seed provinces, under there it will say full annexation, overextension 36%.
I can't take any more than 48. I just don't think they have more.
What?
Yeah, it's the money thing at the bottom.
No. Clear offer. We don't want their money. We want their
we want
souls.
their everything.
So clear offer, and then under seed provinces, click full annexation.
Got it. Send demand.
Send demand.
Oh yeah.
How blue? How blue is France?
That is Smurftastic.
Now there are consequences to that, which we probably won't go into at that point. For example, now you remember how much Burgundy and Austria hated you?
Yeah.
It's much worse.
No, I've been working on Burgundy. I got them all the way up to -31.
Except when you take territory, you create what is traditionally known as
Douche
aggressive
chills. International
international
chills.
douche chills, aggressive expansion. It's a whole other thing, but I mean, to Corey's point, it's just another layer on top of layer on top of layer. Everything has benefits and impact, and everything sort of reverberates in ways that you would expect and ways you'd be surprised by. So that's Europa Universalis 4. You guys have made it through 30 years of game time. You guys have
Holy mother of God! Only 30 years.
you guys have very stable nations. You have taken land. You have firmly established your position. At some point, the inevitable truth is that France and Spain come to blows over who knows what. So you guys are natural enemies, but not yet. It's something to look forward to in the future. You have a stable, strong nation that could birth the realm of an empire someday.
Wow. That's
I don't
cool.
even know what to say.
That's cool.
truly
I dig
don't.
it. I'm down. I might be tempted to start a single player game on my own.
Play the Ottomans. The Ottomans take the Ottomans. They're kind of like France. They start just super powerful with weak enemies around them. Another really good starting location.
Nice.
And so that's it. That's Europa Universalis 4. You guys did it. We can go play Counter-Strike or Hearthstone or whatever crappy sort of mindless nonsense BS game you want to
Stare
play
at the
now.
wall, go wrap yourself in a blanket and weep for a while. This was excellent. If you want more of this scintillating, adrenaline-filled game coverage, go to gamerswithjobs.com. You can also check out our podcast at the Gamers Jobs Conference Call, which you can find on iTunes and all that great stuff. In the meantime, Shawn Sands, thank you for giving us just a sousson of your wisdom, just a drop in the ocean of your vast historical knowledge.
I'm super drunk now, so it's fine.
I will catch you guys later.